Hello, welcome to Matthew Patterson's Banneker High School Vanguard application. This year, one of my primary goals has been connecting with students using technology, primarily using the application Twitter. There's me, a picture of my Twitter page, at Pat's ELA Class BHS. Follow immediately. The first thing that I wanted to do using my Twitter page was highlight student volunteerism. Banneker does not have a good reputation in the community, and so what I wanted to do was highlight all the wonderful things Banneker High School students are doing for the community. There we are on the right at the breast cancer walk, and there we are on the left working with a cancer foundation. Twitter has been great this year because it has allowed my classroom to communicate with many of the writers we're reading in our curriculum. One of the most famous is Rembert Brown. He's a New York magazine writer. We read his article on Tyler Perry, and he retweeted a video of our students. Why is this important? It's culturally relevant material, and Rembert Brown has over 120,000 followers. So it was a big deal when he highlighted our class to the world. We've also embedded a Socratic seminar from Rembert Brown that he saw and actually commented on. We also read Bill Rhoden, who is a New York Times sports editor and writer. We read his $40 Million Slaves book, and we had tons of correspondence with him. Not only did he retweet a lot of our projects and discussions and hashtags, but he also wanted to go ahead and set up a face-to-face interview. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it this year, but Mr. Rhoden has promised me that next year he will give us a face-to-face. So Twitter has connected us with some of the great writers in the country. Another great writer that we've talked to is Rajesh Parameswaran. He wrote the famous short story, The Infamous Bingo Ming, which has been ranked in the top 10 short stories ever. Not only did Mr. Parameswaran enjoy our YouTube Socratic seminar that we were able to film, but his mom, his sister, and his father all commented on how we got the story exactly right. This was a major moment in my class's history because we have been reading the short story for years, and finally we were able to involve the author in our discussion. Another thing that we have used Twitter for, and multi-platform phones and computers, is using technology for individual research. What we often do is we will spend 15 minutes or 30 minutes researching on multi-platform devices such as phones, personal computers, whatever people want to bring to the classroom, and then we'll have presentations on those individual research. It's culturally relevant material and it's real-world applications. Because of Twitter, I was invited to be on Second Thought on PBS Radio. She asked me to talk about race in the classroom with all of her listeners. If you'll notice, there's a podcast link right there. Just go ahead and forward to 14 minutes and you'll hear my entire interview. We also use technology to analyze video content. Here we are looking at Amanda Sternberg from Hunger Games fame. We ended up looking at her video on cultural appropriation. We also used Twitter to forge a partnership with Kenny Leon's True Colors Theater. Kenny Leon is one of the most famous directors in all of America, and by getting in touch with them, we were able to start a partnership where we integrated acting and many theater precepts into our 11th grade curriculum. It was a rousing success, and we can't wait to see them again next year. Mr. Leon also retweeted all of our stuff that we put out about this partnership. On this slide, you see a YouTube channel. This is Pat's ELA class BHS, which has turned into a repository for a lot of our Socratic discussions, play readings, and individual performances. I'm very proud because this allows the entire county to see that great things are happening at Banneker High School. I've also embedded a link on top. We read Eclipse, the Broadway play. If you look right there, you'll see a little performance of us reading. Not only did Danai Gurira, who is the writer of the play, you may know her as Michonne on The Walking Dead, but the director, Liesl Tommy, also included a retweet of our performance. It's pretty neat because we actually started Eclipse before it made it to Broadway. One of the lead actors in Fences also retweeted our information. This was fantastic because it is about to be on Broadway, and it is a feature film starring Denzel Washington, and one of the major characters is interested in stuff we're doing at Banneker High School, which is fabulous. We've also used Twitter to get in touch with parents and publicize student success. Here's Thierno receiving the Omega Phi Psi Scholarship. And here's Kadiatu, our valedictorian, receiving the Atlanta Continental Scholarship. People need to understand that our students are just as good as anyone else in the county. What Twitter has also done is it's allowed us to connect with BHS alumni. My class is no longer a class confined by space and time because I have alumni that can comment on things we're reading, and it encourages them to come back and visit and tell my current students what success looks like in the real world. Here's Ishmael Rogers, an alumni from '10, who basically was discussing his graduate research in nanotechnology and genetics. So proud. I use Edmodo, not only to connect with parents and students, but also for teachers to submit lesson plans to me, the department chair, via Edmodo. It's a great way to become paperless. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation, and have a great rest of the day. Thank you. It's Matthew Patterson from Banneker High School.